Four, three, two, one. Hello, and welcome to the Writer's Workshop, where we critique the user-submitted stories that are handed to us in our fanfiction group. My name's Flutterpriest, and we have a numerous amount of guest authors that are with us this week. Flamin stepped away for a moment, but he'll be able to help us critique at the end. We have Milk.
I'm still not an author.
A non-pencil. Enigmatic Otaku.
Does milk come with a glass?
And Flam's dead. So, that said, the story that we're going to choose this time around is submitted by Tactless Trix. It's called It's Too Early for This or Shit, because it's rated M. And it's rated it's rated M for Megatron, and then includes the author's note, Kill Me, in the description. It is an Equestria Girls random slice of life fic with about 500 views. Description reads, after the Dazzlings had ran off the stage during the events of Camelot High's Battle of the Bands, they went into hiding. Now, they find themselves living in the apartment life with each other. Typically, one would think three best friends, three amigos, who are banished from one dimension into the next, would get along, correct? Well, normally yes, just not in the mornings. Author's note, does contain a lot of swearing, use of the Lord's name in vain, my own personal apologies as I know this is truly offensive to some, all-around stupidity, and immensely out-of-character characters. Take this as seriously as you would The Sims.
Beautiful.
Then also adds, why do I do things, with a Twilight face? My own personal rule of thumb, if it sounds stupid, it likely is, write it anyway. I'm going to pause.
I like this person's description. I will say that.
You do?
Yes. It's horrible. I love it.
Well, I was going to say that, like, for an M-rated story, like, you really don't need a whole lot. Like, you need to trigger for, like, the big things, like the trigger warnings. But I think that this author's note is wholly unnecessary.
It reads like somebody who has never written a mature before, and they're really scared, and I freaking love it.
Okay. That said, this fic is 1,123 words long. Pencil has volunteered to read some of the dialogue, and
I did?
Yes, you did. You
more
were
like
voluntold.
More like drafted.
Okay.
So let's jump straight into Screw Sunday Mornings. Author's note. Author's note. You could hate me as an author or as a person all you want. I'll rewrite this later or something. I don't know. Take it away.
Burned eggs? Are you kidding me, Dodgy? How the shit do you burn eggs? They've only been on the skillet for like a minute.
At this, I turned my head to the other girl, the orange tuft of hair shaking in anger as our other friend swore. They've been going at it for weeks, basically ever since we moved in.
Don't you dare blame that on me. I told you to watch the damn oven. You couldn't even watch the side of a barn, could you?
Adagio fired back, and it was obviously time for the purple-haired Arya to respond. God, I hate Sunday mornings the most. They were at their worst during the end of the week.
Oh, I couldn't watch a barn, huh? At least I can cook properly, you dumb skank.
I only rose a brow as Adagio's hand slapped across Arya's face, the taller of the two now fuming. Why did this have to happen to me? I just want a normal morning for once. Flag on the play. Tense change. Like, boom. Like, instantly. Anyway. Just to lie in my nice, warm bed until the later hours of the day, I let out a sigh of contentedness, but my thoughts were dashed only seconds later.
You do not call me that, you hear me? I'm the only one working. I have to pay the bills. All you do is sit on your ass all day, every day, watching some stupid kids shows with Sonata.
Ouch. Uncalled for, bringing me into this. But she does have a point. Both Arya and me never once bothered to go looking for jobs after our little accident with the rain booms. As soon as Adagio found her place working at a diner, things could have just been soaring downhill since. At least for us.
Yeah. All you ever bring home is tips. That isn't exactly enough to live off of, Daji. Get a real job, then you can complain.
Personally, I'm taking Adagio's side of the argument. I mean, I don't know when it turned into one. They were talking about eggs at first. I'd shake my head. Now looking at Adagio yet again as I bring the mug I held compressed between my hands to my lips. Mama's glad she has her Joe.
Real job? Real job? Arya, do you even hear what's coming out of your dumbass mouth right now? You don't even have one.
Shots fired. I chuckle mentally, Arya's face contorting as her right eye twitched. I let out a sigh, a small twinge of a headache beginning to form.
So? It's still your fault we're even in this mess.
Oh, let's just take the equestrian magic. And, oh, it'll be easy, a walk in the park. All we gotta do is beat the rain booms.
Arya's tone was mocking, a hand raised as it mimicked what Adagio had indeed said only weeks ago. Now that I really think about it, she does make a point. I purse my lips, fighting the urge to smack them together as the coffee's aftertaste now starting to bite me. Arya blinked in confusion, raising the hand puppet she'd just used to her cheek.
And did you just slap me? You bitch!
How did she just realize that? Adagio slapped her only a minute ago, or something like that, and they say I'm the slow one.
Yeah? Well, if you hadn't have been for your lackluster singing, we'd have easily trumped those idiots.
Adagio didn't even acknowledge the second half of Arya's complaint, only continued to glare at her, and vice versa. I watched with little interest, raising the white mug back to my lips again as Arya thought about a retort, her brows scrunching together.
Yeah? Well, you're stupid.
Wow. Wow. Okay, that was bad. From my seated position, I could only watch as Adagio reeled back in shock and surprise. How did that, of all things, get to her? God, I hated watching these two almost as much as I loved them. Suddenly, Adagio's eyes were brimming with unshed tears, the transparent liquid forming at the ends of her lower eyelids.
What? You really think so?
She sobbed out. I nearly blanched at this. Did she seriously take that much offense? Arya's eyes softened as well. My face probably filled with much confusion as I watched the two's emotions change almost immediately.
No, I didn't mean that, Adagio. God, I'm sorry.
The purple-haired girl took a step closer to our orange-haired friend, her arms open wide.
Forgive me.
I let a breath out in frustration, Adagio giving a small nod in return to an Arya's apology as she, herself, approached Arya with her own arms open. And soon, they embraced. Normally, I would have given a small, "Aw, you guys made up on your own." But there was a reason why I didn't. Not even 4 seconds in their loving embrace, Arya sniffed the air, and her eyes shot open in a glare.
You left the fucking oven on?
And just like that, a short, sweet, tender moment ruined. All because
I told you to watch it! You said you could handle it!
Adagio pushed Arya away from her and crossed her arms over her chest in a humph. I removed one of my hands from the cozy embrace of my mug's warmth to bridge to my nose. Every goddamn morning. As the two continued their bickering back and forth, the screaming and yelling now no longer drawing my attention, I turned to face out the window that was by my side. Thankful I was sitting. I was sure if I were standing, I would have somehow been dragged into that mess. I rested my elbow on the window's jutted frame, my other hand still gripping onto the mug that held my lifeblood. Slowly my eyes drift from the scenery of the outside world to the clock hung up on our kitchen wall. A sigh leaves me as I raise the caffeine back to my lips. A crash occurred suddenly, signifying either Arya or Adagio had broken something in their fit, but I only shake my head as I was now beginning to grow a migraine.
2 in the goddamn afternoon. It is too early for this shit.
And that's the story.
I'm gonna have a beer. Hold on. Here.
So, Enigma, Flam, what did you think?
I kind of liked it, but my complaint is that the writer separates Sonata's thoughts from some of the dialogue that has nothing to do with her own actions.
Goodness me, I thought my mute was set up better. I agree with that. Yes.
It's lighthearted, gets the job done. OOC dazzlings are always kind of a cool thing with me because it's almost exactly how best friends who are supposed to live with each other that don't want to live with each other kind of act. I've seen it in action before. And, no, gets the job done, no more, no less. I'm okay with it.
It's slice of lifey. There isn't much like weight to
Precisely.
this at all.
Precisely.
It's definitely intended for a comedic effect, and there is some silly stuff that goes on in here. Not like laugh out loud funny, but it's well paced. There's grammar issues. There are
Certainly.
grammar issues. There's missing words. There's tense changes.
Right.
Formatting in this is a nightmare. The formatting in this is such a nightmare. One of the reasons I didn't use different voices for Adagio versus Aria is because you can't tell who's speaking. The way it's broken up, you have dialogue buried in the center of large paragraphs, and it's really hard to tell who's begun to speak because you haven't indicated it. This is not broken up very well in the sense. I know that there is an impulse for a lot of writers to try to keep your paragraphs really long because it reads more like you would think a book would. But if you condense this down to the size of a book page as far as width, you start to notice that your paragraphs look like walls of text. You can break this up more. You can break this up a lot more. I like some of the dialogue in this a lot. Like it's got a lot of comedic value to it. It's really fun, and I like the internalization of just Sonata sitting there being like, I hate this so damn much. I only have one other, besides there's some purple language. Yes, that comes with practice and time. But the other major complaint for this is, why does this have a mature tag?
I agree with that. This isn't
Because
really
Mama
mature.
got her cup of joe.
Yeah, it seems like this writer assumes that using bad words makes it mature rather than teen. It doesn't need to be. This story's easily a teen story.
Yeah.
You don't need to worry so much. That's why I loved the description, because it definitely reads like a young writer who's like, I said a bad word. So no worries. You're fine. Use teen.
I definitely, yes. I feel like one of the things that could have been done in this, and I'm hesitant to give this suggestion because it's something that I abuse to a point that I make it almost ineffective. I really like that the final line of your story is the one sentence jab, the one sentence joking, jabbing sentence. But I feel like you could have done that more throughout as a way to not only break up the sentences, but also to have more of those aside joke moments. And I feel like that's really natural for this format, where we are literally seeing through Aria, or Sonata, my bad. But that's not really utilized, and I think that just comes with practice and learning how to work with comedy and work with comical timing. Definitely read more comedy if you're going to write more stories like this. Flam, what do you think?
No, I agree, and honestly, the reason why I didn't have more to add is because I judged the story based on what I perceived it was meant to offer. I mean, at about, what is this, 1,200 words?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not even, actually rounded down to 1,100. At 1,100 words, decent description. I mean, for what it's meant to be, I mean, for what it's being advertised as, I think it just does the job, which is the dazzlings just being silly billies. I mean, I didn't think this was going to end like win film fiction's Pulitzer Prize. It's not advertised that way. So it's just like, no, yeah, for what it's being advertised as, it gets the job done.
So you're saying it won't win the Howitzer Award?
No, Enigma. Anyway.
Okay, what am I missing from that?
It's something that's an inside joke, which it's not something you say randomly to people who are not in on said inside jokes, because that's freaking rude, Enigma.
Watch the Good HIE podcast.
Was this wait, is that the one where we just annoyed a pencil with like the usual stuff?
No, this is we decided that because somebody was trying to remember something, and instead they remembered the word howitzer, and it was hilarious. That's literally it.
Oh, damn. See,
it was you had to be there to...
Yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was saying.
Milk, what did you think of the story?
I want to hear what Milk has to say.
Do you really want to know what I have to say?
I do.
I didn't enjoy it.
Why? Well, what about it didn't you enjoy?
It's I don't know. It just doesn't sound like something I would be into. I don't get the point of them, bitching and fighting back and forth and all this shit. I get that they're all in shit trouble, but I mean, come on. I don't know. Maybe I'm grasping at straws there.
Is it more in the premise that it's like it doesn't feel like anything new? Is it just
that's probably it. It feels like I'm reading every other fucking story after that movie's come out. I mean, everybody's done an after the fact fic where they're just bitchy to each other and nothing has changed. This is just the same thing with a different setting. I don't know.
I can totally understand that, and that's very fair. If people come onto the site wanting to see a story that is totally new and original and is trying to spin a whole new look around these characters and how they interact, that's not here. But if they want, their Lay's potato chips of Sonata fics, that's what this does provide. It's easy reading for an easy reader.
But even then, the Lay's potato chips for Sonata makes her out to be either overly educated and very worried, but at the same time she puts off the premise of being stupid to get away with a lot of stuff, or in the exact opposite, she actually is really fucking stupid. This is just like a middle ground where she kind of plays that middle person, like she's not really on either side of the spectrum.
Oh, I thought it came across as that she is supposed to be educated and is just sitting there in silence.
Yeah, I like the idea better that she plays the idiot because she knows better. She knows the results of otherwise.
And that is nothing new. That is absolutely nothing new. But
and then the mature tag. I don't know what the fuck is wrong with that. I don't know why they would put that there.
Isn't it a common trope that Sonata is actually like the smartest of the Dazzlings by far?
Yeah, that's. I mean, like, there's nothing new to that
like
trope.
She's just ditzy. That's all she is. But she's just very insightful when she wants to be.
But I don't know. There's a certain pleasantness to me, and I think it actually might be my girliness talking here. There's a certain pleasantness to me watching two girls just like frickin' fight it out over breakfast while their other roommate just sits there and slowly sips coffee and like quietly judges them both.
But that's none of my business.
Exactly. I guess that's why I like that. But that being said, if you wanted anything new, like Milk said, it is not here.
And that's fine. And that's why we have it's really awesome we have so many different guest authors on here to provide so many different points of view. I'll say that this wasn't my favorite thing I've ever read, but it definitely wasn't the worst thing I've read today. So, by all means, keep it up. Keep working on your comedy timing. I think there's definitely premise here. Just keep working. If you haven't already quit the site already, I follow Tactless Trix. And keep it up. Thank you for watching this episode of the Writer's Workshop, and see you next time.